Have you ever been doomed by a diagnosis? What is a diagnosis and how can it actually help us, or how does it actually hinder us? So, in tonight's speech, I would like you to come in with an open mind. I'm going to suggest some things that might be new to you, and I just want you to sit with it and think about it, and think about how actually a diagnosis can help us, but also how it potentially hinders us and fills us full of doom. What is a diagnosis? A diagnosis, according to the dictionary, is the identification of the nature of an illness or any other problem by examination of the symptoms. So, what happens usually before a diagnosis? We experience some symptoms that usually aren't very pleasant. And then we go along to the doctor, who does a series of wonderful or scary tests and then comes up with the thing that you have. Then they tell you what it is. And this has been my experience. It goes something like this: you've got an incurable condition. It's going to get worse. There is nothing that you can do about it. Don't even bother looking for anything else, because Google will just scare the pants off you. This is it. Hey, that is it. Oh, we can give you some medication that may or may not stave it off a little bit and stop it getting worse quite so quickly. Side effects, yeah, hopefully they won't be too bad. It's going to be a lifelong thing. You're going to be on medication for the rest of your life. This is currently how diagnosis is given, or certainly how it was given to me. Okay, not quite with that impending sense of doom, but it certainly is received that way. So when we receive a diagnosis of a condition that is lifelong, i.e., there is no cure at the moment that they know about, then it is delivered with a massive, great sense of fear. The problem is, when our body is in fear, it is not in a place to heal. So I am going to suggest that actually a lot of these long-term conditions, like the one that I've been diagnosed with, which is multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune condition, is a condition of the 21st century. If you look at like the history, there might be some examples of them way back then, but actually more and more now they are coming as a usual thing. In fact, by the time you reach 50, there is about a 1 in 7 chance that you are going to be living with some sort of lifelong condition that is going to alter your life in some way. And the way we're given a diagnosis at the moment and the options that we got don't really fit. They're not really fit for purpose. They don't work. So why are these a 21st century condition? Well, most of us have an unhealthy gut. Our food, most of our food that we eat, is very, very lacking in nutrients. We are surrounded by toxins. Our soil is toxic. Our sea is toxic. Our air is getting more and more toxic. And the products that we use to clean our homes and clean our streets and clean ourselves have a lot of toxins and chemicals in them. Information, in the world of information as it is now, we are getting constantly barraged by information from all different sources. Constantly pinging up on our phone, we're surrounded by information. It's very, very difficult to get away with it. And the majority of it is very, very negative stuff. So we're constantly getting attacked by negative information. our education, how we are taught. We are totally disconnected from our bodies. And at no point during our education, or certainly no point during my education, was I taught how to connect to my body, to really trust myself and know that I have the answers. We're also taught to trust in our doctors and the pharmaceuticals that they deliver to us. Our media just bombards us with more and more negative stuff and tells us what to believe. So there are so many things going on in our world now that negatively impact our own health and well-being. But there is an antidote to all this. There is a change up, and it changes from within. It changes from the things that are not working for us, and it's changing our beliefs around them. So our gut, start working on our gut, start going back to basics when it comes to food. Food that actually looks like food, food that's not in packets, food that has been processed, food that you've just pulled out of your garden. This is where the answers lay with regarding to our food. Toxins. Oh my goodness. Products. Clean this, clean that. We can't have any bacteria anywhere. Everything's super, super clean. Is that really the way forward? So really start looking at what you are putting onto your bodies, what you're putting into your bodies, what you're cleaning with. Do we really need that many chemicals to wipe down a surface? Do we really need that much soap and antibacterial wipes to wash our hands? I don't know. I haven't got the answers. I'm just suggesting there's a different way. And actually, isn't it time our education system taught us about our own bodies? Not just a little bit when we go to biology and learnt the reproductive system, actually how our bodies works and what it means when we are in pain. Does it actually mean that we need to blank the pain, to dull the pain, or does it mean we need to go into the pain and ask what it means? There is so much that we can do, that we can help support ourselves. And it starts, I think, from the way we get delivered a diagnosis. So rather than giving a whole load of fear, which then puts our body into fight or flight, when our body's in fight or flight, it is not in a place to heal. Don't know if you're aware, but we've got this amazing thing called an autoimmune system. And our immune system gets rid of any bacteria and gets rid of any illnesses and really battles on our behalf. But it finds it really hard to do that when our whole body is getting ready to fight a tiger or run for our lives. Okay, it's not a tiger necessarily, but it is the same effect in our body as receiving a scary diagnosis, as if a tiger's just jumped out and is growling at us. So our body is getting ready to fight it or run for it. And therefore it's not in a place where it does the rest and repair that it needs to do the maintenance to actually get our bodies in a place where it can heal. That on top of our food supplies that are not actually giving us the nutrients that we need because they are so over-processed. We are not eating the food that we need. And even the food that is coming from our ground is a lot less nutritious than it once was years and years ago. So this is a time to start really thinking differently. And I love the theme of this evening. Let's start thinking how we can actually encourage and empower our own immune system to work on our behalf. And let's encourage our doctors to actually give a diagnosis in a different way. Imagine, rather than being told you've got an incurable thing that's going to get worse, that there's nothing that you can do. Imagine if you were told your body's a little bit out of balance. There are some things that you need to work on. There might be some things that you need to change around your diet, maybe about some of the things, your behaviors and what you do and who you hang out with and what you do for a living, where you live, all of those things. And it might seem overwhelming and scary, but there is no magic pill to get yourself in alignment. Only you can do that. But you can do that. Imagine your doctor having that conversation with you, saying to you, actually, you've got the power within to fix everything that's going on in your life. Side effects. Are there side effects? There are a few side effects. The side effects are you get to know yourself on a deeper level. You bring out things that really fill you with joy. You start to live your life on purpose and really deliver out compassion and love wherever you go. Those are the side effects of getting to know yourself, getting in alignment, getting a place where your body is healing. Yes, it is a challenging journey, but imagine if we had a health system that actually encouraged our health instead of worried about our illnesses. Illnesses, maybe this is a bit of a utopian vision, but maybe illness becomes a bit of a thing of the past. There is no such thing as sickness and illness. Yes, there might be still some, what are they called? What are they called? Viruses. Viruses, how could I forget that word? The viruses that come in. But actually, if our body was in a real healthy state, it can fight off viruses. So if we start educating that actually our bodies are miraculous, amazing mechanisms that working for us. And if they're out of balance, it means that we need to take notice of something, not try and dull it with medication or painkillers, actually getting into the pain and finding out really what's going on. Yes, that sounds scary. But surely that is better than just surviving on pharmaceutical drugs. And isn't it interesting as well, when you think about the drugs that we use, one that we use to medicate our conditions, but also the ones that we use to medicate our life, the alcohol and the tobacco, the ones that are readily available to all of us that dull us. Yet the ones that come from nature, they're illegal. We're not allowed to eat mushrooms that come from the ground. They're illegal. We're not allowed to use cannabis that comes from the ground. That's illegal. Yet the ones that cause the most problems, they're readily available from the corner shop. Yeah, they're now hidden and they've got scary labels on them, but they're still readily available and easy for us all to use and take. So this is a little bit of a thinking differently idea. Thinking differently, one, about the diagnosis and how it is given, but also about the condition and why it is here. What if all of our illnesses are here to teach us something, to enable us to get a little bit deeper on who we really are and a little bit more aligned with actually what we're meant to be here to do? Get more in connection with the earth around us and don't fill it full of toxins and scary things, and stop barraging with the media and the information that gets sent out there. Media say that, you know, fear sells. Maybe it does, but surely that's a shift as well. There's more and more. We had a wonderful opening today about what makes you smile. Imagine the newspapers or the social media were all, that was every morning. What makes you smile? And even just the question makes you smile, doesn't it? So let's have more of what makes us smile. Let's have more going back to nature. Let's have more of trusting that our body has got this sorted. All we have to do is trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in nature. And then our diagnosis may not be a diagnosis of doom, could even be a diagnosis of delight. Or is that a stretch too far? Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much,